Warriors wake up, soldiers check in. What mission are we on this morning? I said, Warriors wake up, soldiers check in. What mission are we on this morning? Man, I hope y'all are fired up this morning. Listen, I'm so fired up. We know what it is. It's Thorough Thursday today. But listen, real quick, I wanted to engage and connect with my people, with my warrior brothers and sisters, with my young warriors. If you listening, if you engage this morning, very important. Something hit me. I'm like, man, this is critical. And I wanted to push it. I wanted to bring it to the light as it was sparking through me. One of the powerful things, man, that is something that is a part of development, a part of really our mission, our our pursuit to really empower Black youth, really to be in position to raise, cultivate, and protect the opportunity for our youth to reach their full power and potential, right? No matter who you are, as a pipeline of power builder, my warrior parents, my educators, my community leaders and stakeholders, you in a position where you are engaging youth, or you are influencing or interacting, and you in a position to impact our young warriors in some form or fashion. One of the critical things that's extremely important, man, and this is something that can be overlooked. It's simplistic in nature, and it seems to be something that will be common sense, but a lot of times we often forget in the midst of life, in the midst of dysfunctionality in this society, and distractions and disappointments and all the different inputs that come in and often pull us off the track of who we are and who we are created to become, is that as a pipeline of power builder, and in the understanding of the principle of that it takes a whole village to raise, cultivate, and protect the opportunity for our children, for our youth to reach their full power and potential, is the simple notion, right, that the reason why we must be on a mission. And I ask the question every day for us to really analyze and assess ourselves and really look at how we are utilizing our time. Listen to me, I'm talking about how I had to talk to myself. I get up and ask these critical questions to myself. Is that reason number one, we must be on a mission daily, is because guess what? When we are on a mission, when we are have made a decision, when we are on a mission and have made a decision with precision to really identify who we are, the vision, the purpose that we've been created with, right? Understanding what our natural genius, our strengths, our superpowers, our natural brilliance, we start to unlock that, unleash that, really start to understand and tap into our natural potency, right? And then we make that decision to say, you know what, with this understanding of who I am, the strength of who I am, even as I am growing as a work in progress, I am going to daily, consistently, and persistently pursue the most powerful version of myself. I'm talking about really understanding that every day I must grow. Not I'm gonna try to grow. Not I'm gonna try to improve. And I'm gonna try to do better. Because a lot of times I hear my warrior brothers and sisters, and of course I've said it myself. Now, man, I got to do better, right? Whether it be in our health, how we eat, how we exercise, how we study, how we learn, how we pursue business, projects, organization development, things that we know that are in our vision, that we are visualizing, that wakes us up, and we're thinking about it, and we see issues, and we start to formulate solutions to those issues, because inside of us, intrinsically, that's a part of our purpose. That's connected to the vision. That's something that we are purposed to do. That ain't by accident. That ain't by happenstance. If that solution, if that visualization of how we can impact our people, our children, our families, it arises and emerges in us, that's not by accident. That's something to be pursued. So the reason why it's critical that we identify that and make a decision to be on a mission with precision to pursue that vision of becoming the most powerful version of ourselves, so that we can actualize and actually sustain the operation that it's going to take for us to really make that impact, is because when we do that consistently, persistently, right, through all of the challenges, through all of the obstacles, through all the hurdles and the things that throw us off and hit us from different angles with different people that don't understand the vision, people that don't understand who we are, our natural power and genius, and all these growing pains, because we're growing towards who we are becoming. They say we grown, but it's a growing process, not that we are grown with the end at the end. We are growing, ing, right? And in those growing pains, we have to continue to be on a mission to continue to grow and pursue the most powerful version of ourselves. Because guess what? The ones that we say we love, listen to me, the ones that we are in position to lead and feed our children that are looking up to us, that on a daily basis, they are experience us, right? We are engaging them, but they are experiencing us, even when they are not talking to us, even when they are not verbally communicating, they are experiencing our experiences, if that makes sense. Our children experience our experiences, which means that how we experience life, how we decide to experience life, whether it be challenge, whether it be obstacle, whether it be how we engage and interact with other people in our lives from a relationship standpoint, those experiences that we experience, we're not the only one experiencing those, right? So if we put into the focus our mission of growing towards the vision that we see for ourselves at our most powerful version of ourselves, and we've centered that as the focal point or the driving force of how we experience every experience in life, and we are on a mission and we make a decision to pursue our highest, most powerful version of ourselves consistently and persistently, it is that mission, it is that focus, it is that consistent action that we are taking to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually, when that our children will experience us in that experience, in that growth process. They see us, they observe us growing, they observe how we engage life, they observe how we engage every interaction with the people around us, our relationships, how we engage challenge and obstacles. How do we take it on? Do we, when a challenge arises, do we immediately go into worry? Like we worry, man, I don't know. We start to question, our ability to overcome. Do we start complaining? Do we start whining? Do we start looking for a way to escape? Do we start to run and hide from challenges that we understand that on the other side of the challenge is to continue the pursuit for our most powerful version of ourselves? Do we run from the opportunity to connect with people that will help to build us in those processes? All right. Or do we run to escape mechanisms, defense mechanisms that can only entertain us, that can only, cover wounds, right? Or do we run and engage the opportunity to heal and grow towards our most powerful version of ourselves? Those decisions that we make about that process is not just us experiencing the process, but it's also our children, right? It's also the youth that you engage, even as an educator, our students, right? They experience our experiences and how we engage life. So they listen to the words that we say and the language that we use in the midst of our life experience, right? So when a challenge comes, we immediately start saying, "No, man, we can't do this. I can't believe this some bull. I don't know how, but man, I ain't gonna be able to make. I can't believe they put this challenge on. This type of language that we start to put forward, right? When we start gossiping about the other people, we start putting more energy on other people's life experiences than on our own growth experiences. Our children experience and observe that way of engaging life, right? And it is those experiences and how we experience life and how we engage life, how we interact, what we say, our language that we use, right? The way that we interact with challenges. Guess what? That starts to set an expectation for our children to grow in. It sets a framework that our children start to experience and say, man, I get it. And they don't even say it in their subconscious. They say, this must be the framework that I have to grow in, right? On the other side, right, if we look at it from the other side, if we engage challenge like warriors do, right? We talk about being pipeline of power builders, where we understand that we are in position, that we must raise, cultivate, and protect, that we must be the fabric, we must be the material that is the strongest, that will allow our children to flow through pipelines to reach their full power and potential. When we understand that as the focal point, the centering of the way that we engage life, the decisions that we make about the actions that we take, and understanding that, hey, we will consistently and persistently pursue the most powerful version of ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. So when we engage opportunities or and challenges, we look at them as opportunities to learn and grow. And we don't start complaining and whining. We start training and grinding so that we can be strong enough to handle the challenge, so that we can be strong enough to grow through every situation. And guess what? We create and expectation. We create a culture expectation based on a pursuit, a consistent and persistent pursuit for the most powerful version of ourselves. Guess what? Our children also experience that. So when our language changes in the midst of challenges, when we start to say, oh yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow and take on a challenge. I'm grateful for the opportunity to really grow mentally and physically. I'm great. Oh, okay, I need to lose some weight. Okay, bet. Let's take it on. Oh, there's an opportunity for me to engage in a challenge that will grow me mentally, that will allow me to utilize my natural genius, my ability to analyze, my ability to step back and assess and provide solutions to situations. Oh, let's go get it. Right? I don't got to get up in the morning. I get to get up in the morning because I'm blessed. Man, thank you for life. Thank you for energy. Thank you for the breath that flows through my body, the oxygen that's in my listen to me. I appreciate that. Right? That language starts to shift. Guess what? That language, every code that we put out, right? Guess what? That starts to also create a culture expectation through which our children, right, understand. Even when they don't say it, it becomes the framework that they grow into. It becomes the cultural expectation. It becomes the environment that our children must grow and matriculate through life into their later phase of life. That becomes the framework in which they grow in. That becomes the picture that we paint in which they start to flow into and become who they were created to become. Guess what? We have the ability to do that based on our consistent action. If we make a decision and on a mission to be the model for it. I love that. I remember yesterday, Young Warriors. I was working with my young warriors, and I love working with my powerful young warriors at Dunbar High School yesterday. And my oldest warrior son came with me, and one of the young warriors students asked, "Hey, is this little Dr. J?" They asked, "Is this little Dr. J?" I say, "Well, hey, he ain't little no more. He grown now, right?" So that he asked that question, and what happened in the session was we started learning our warrior self-defense training. We started doing our warrior training, and in the warrior training technique that I showed him, because my warrior son has been training with me for years, right? I brought him to utilize him, allow him to be an example for how to do the technique. So when he got up there, right, he was out, he already comfortable. He already got confidence because we'd already been putting it work, and we'd already been training. I done already set a cultural expectation around how he engaged, these type of techniques and the mindset and the mentality of warrior training. So when he got up there with confidence. Boom, right? Of course, the young warriors, I'm teaching them, so a lot of them was not used to the technique. They're not used to the motion and the movement and the positions, of the technique. So they're a little stiffer. They're not as confident. But my son was confident because he had experienced it. He had experienced me engaging, the growth and development that it takes in order to be a more competent and, more adept on the warrior training technique and the flow of it, right? So when he up there, boom, he done experienced, he done been in training, he done been in competition, boxing, this. So he up there with the confidence, he looking confident, right? So when they seen him, right, when they seen my son, right, after they've experienced me, they saw the flow and the connectivity, his connectivity to me, because they'd already asked and they have already assessed and analyzed it. That was my son, and we was connected. They saw the confidence and the connectivity in the technique that we were teaching. Once they saw that, you could see the shift in their confidence start to spike. Okay, so this is how we engage this particular technique, and I'm teaching it, understanding the concepts around it, because it's not just physical, it's mental as well, it's spiritual, right? Understanding alert, aware, and ready to protect. Understanding how this connects to real life in every situation. We have to be ready to pay attention in every. It don't matter what the situation is. We are always paying attention because we are always on a mission, and we can't miss anything. So all of these contexts come together. They are able to observe, right, the connectivity between me and my son, right? From that connectivity, we set a cultural expectation by which the engagement of the activity must be taken on. Sorry, so you could see the shift in how they start to take it on. Boom, they start to get into the motion of the technique. They start to get into the flow of it. It shifted their energy when they were able to see the model of what it is that they were expected to take on, to do. Right, so that concept, that shift, right, and understanding, and you start to see a model of how something is done, how something should be taken on. Guess what? That's the mind of our youth. They able to see what should be taken on. So guess what? If they experience the negative aspects of life and they start to see negative examples of how people are taking on life, and that becomes the consistent observation, whether it be through social media, whether it be through, other avenues, whether it be in their environment, guess what? In the subconscious, they start to set a framework for it. This is how they supposed to matriculate through life. But as Pipeline of Power builders, we make a decision that we're going to set the culture expectation. That's the kind of intensity we got to have in saying, no, you know what? The reason why I got to be on a mission every day, when Dr. J asked that question, what mission are we on? I have to be able to answer that question and make a decision with precision to pursue it, is because I have to be the model for the people that I'm connected to, my family, my community, and future generations, my children, those that I'll have to wake up for school every morning, those that I got to stand before in the classroom and engage their minds every morning. They got to see me pursuing the most powerful version of myself. So yesterday I might have had an attitude about what happened to me at home, but my understanding of growth, my mindset, my warrior mentality put me in a position to say, you know what? My mission is to powerfully impact the minds of those that I'm connected to, that I get the opportunity to impact and influence. So therefore today, listen, no matter what happened at home, I'm going to stand tall, and I'm going to stay focused on the mission of powerfully unlocking that natural genius, decoding the unseen, so that their natural genius and brilliance can be on display for them to build and grow from, regardless of what happened to me. Listen, because I got to set the expectation for them to grow in, the framework, right? What mission are we on? Listen, as Pipeline of Power builders, we must be on a mission, because we set the culture expectation for all of those that are connected to us, regardless of what's happening. They are experiencing what we are experiencing, and they are observing and creating a framework in their mind on how they will grow. So the question is, how do we want our children to grow? How do we want our youth to grow? When we say Black youth empowerment, do we want, when they step away from us and when they become older in years, what framework do we want them to step off into life in? Because a lot of times when they graduate from high school, they have been given this framework from the school system. They've been given this framework, but guess what? When you step out into life, if you still taking that same framework, and that same framework is antiquated, it's not equipped to handle real world situations. It's not equipped to hold and mold their ability to critically think and navigate through real life situations that we all know is going to come, is going to engage, is coming. Then where does that leave them? Because a lot of times, we see our children struggling in real time, in real life. Guess what? I've seen it. I've experienced it myself, right? We see our children that grow into adulthood, quote unquote, struggling in real life, in real time, and they're making these mistakes and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And then we get frustrated, we get upset, right? We're like, God, why they do, why? But if we look back, if we take a step back and do a critical reflection, right? And we look back among all those times, those 18 years, those 20 years, those 25 years and whatnot. And we say, ask ourselves a question: in those 25 years, how much of that time did I spend pursuing the most powerful version of myself so that I could set the cultural expectation and the model for my children, for my youth, for my young warrior daughter, son, in order for them to take a cultural expectation and framework that is powerful enough in order for them to transition to the next stage of their life and be able to navigate, and not only navigate, but also dominate and also pursue the most powerful version of themselves. Also be able to critically think in every situation where they can identify solutions because they saw mama and daddy doing it. They saw Miss Such and Such doing it. They saw Mr. Such. They saw me. They experienced me pursuing the most powerful version of myself, and they understood in their subconscious that that's how you move, that warriors move with an intensity that says there is no challenge, there is no obstacle that I cannot overcome. I just need the opportunity to utilize and tap into my natural genius so that I can have the vision. I can visualize based on my vision for future impact, the way in which I will overcome it so that I can continue to pursue what I've been created to pursue. Did we set that expectation? Are we setting that expectation based on our own actions? That's the question today, right? So as we go forward today, Thorough Thursday, we thorough, we follow up, we follow through. Let's take the opportunity to really do that self-assessment and say, listen, What is the vision, right? What do we see ourselves becoming? What does our most powerful version of ourselves look like? We got to visit the future. We've been visiting the future with our young warriors, phenomenal young warriors in our vision builder for future impact course at the Uhuru Academy. Powerful young warriors. Salute, Zahu, to the young warriors, to Uhuru Academy. Bible, my brother. Listen, going into the future, visiting your future self, the person that you are created to become, you got to go visit. We got to go visit that future. We got to go visit what that looks like when we have made the most powerful impact that we can make on our families, our communities, and future generations, our world impact. Go visit it so that we can understand the actions and decisions and start to really walk it down, right? Because once you identify the vision and you understand the strategic steps that it takes to get there, and you're like, man, okay, now let's just walk it down. So every day you ask what mission are on, it's not a guesswork. You understand that the mission is a stepping stone, is an action step towards a vision that you've already visited and that you continue to visit, that we continue to visit consistently. And we just walking down the vision. We just actualizing it in action every day. And in that process, our children are experiencing it. We are, matter of fact, we are employing them into it. We are interjecting them into our own process for pursuit for the most powerful version of ourselves. They are experiencing, they are feeling it, they are engaged with it, right? So they understand by muscle memory. They start to get the muscle memory of what it takes in order for them to reach their full power and potential. What is our mindset going into how we are engaging those that we say we love? What mission are we on? Are we pursuing the most powerful version of ourselves so that we can be the model and set the culture expectation for our children? Let's get locked in with it, man. I am so phenomenally grateful for the opportunity to engage my people, to engage, those that are connected to me. Listen, we got some powerful things coming forward. My Pipeline of Power builders, man, go to pipelineofpower.com, connect with me. Hey, we have to unleash the Pipeline of Power Builders Lab in the Pipeline of Power Builders Institute, where we on a vision. Listen, vision building 10K. We 10,000 warriors, 10,000 young warriors, my brothers and sisters. We got to unlock our vision. We got to be clear. We got to visit our vision for impact. We got to identify. We got to be clear about it. We got to have the ability to articulate it. It has to be in our language when we engaging people. And there should be no situation, no conversation that we engage in that who we are, our natural genius should not emerge in that situation, right? So we got to identify that, right? Vision building. We need 10,000 warriors, right? Young warriors, right? Young power warriors. I'm talking about my brothers and sisters, warrior brothers and sisters, from educators to, to warrior parents and community. I'm talking about people that's about that life of really unlocking and unleashing the power of our children in a way they gave. Nobody can stop them. No opposition can deter the greatness that we were created to pursue. Let's go get it. Listen to me. Pipelineofpower.com. Be ready for the Pipeline of Power Builders Lab. I'm coming to get you, right? Become a member. It's on. Stay with me. Hey, Pipeline of Power Builders pop up. Hey, I appreciate y'all taking time with me today. We coming back. All right, we coming back. So engage us. Let's go get it. Be powerful today, because that's what we were created to do. What mission are you on? Be able to answer that question and allow that pursuit for the most powerful version of ourselves be the model, the cultural expectation that we set for those that are around us, for our children, for those that we lead and feed. Let's go get it. We on a mission. Zah.